Welcome to layout update number 8. So starting off is a bit of a showcase of what I'll be doing to the track plan in the coming months and so on. So a lot of you are wondering, okay, why do you have a bunch of track laying about? Well, this is sort of me kind of testing out to see if I really want another industry. And for those of you who may not have seen my last layout update, I mentioned there were going to be 7 industries. That's technically going to be wrong unless they get a station, and then this whole thing will come full circle. But there's actually going to be 6 industries on the layout in total. This one is going to have its own private siding. The only thing I still need is a number 6 right-hand Cado turnout. For anyone building an N-scale layout, I highly recommend you stick to the Cado number 6s. As I've heard, the number 4s, while cheaper, aren't exactly the best. Mostly if you're running bigger engines and bigger freight cars. At least from what I've heard, like I said. They could be completely wrong. Who knows? But anyway, so the reason why I add this point corrector here is because it's the same turn radius as a Cado turnout. So basically, I'm gonna have so many turnouts within proximity. I have way too many turnouts. Oh well, I got trained on the brain. So basically, an engine can back up, pick up a car, pull out, reattach your train, and keep going. Another thing I decided to incorporate could be a train being able to run in both directions. Now that sounds kind of silly at first, but most diesels can run in any direction, at least today. Now, I'm not going to do this with a steam engine because none of my steam engines really have front knuckle couplers, and once I do, it would look kind of silly. But for diesels, I could have them, say the end of the train's back here, I could have them come around, pull off the end of the train, and pick up the cars, and then have them run in reverse or something, just to add a little more variety to the operations. Sorry if that was a bit rambly. Now we're going to move on to the next section of the video, and we'll be discussing the back of the layout and the small town. So for the back right corner of the layout, I was thinking of building a bridge. However, to me that would look kind of boring, and I want something a bit more natural. So I'm thinking of building a mountain, starting it probably right about there, have it curve around and end right out here. And I remember I had some crack brain idea thinking of, building a little Z-scale tourist line, and that would be a huge pain in the butt to wire and hook up and all that. I'm probably not going to do that. I might stick something like maybe a fire station, police station, or maybe a restaurant on the top of the mountain and kind of have it curve down. And, it could be interesting. And then the road could kind of snake around, and basically it's going to be a Y, and then it's going to kind of curve around in basically a large number 6, if you will. And this is the first iteration of the town for Anytime. For those of you who don't know, the official name of my layout is the Anytime Scenic Railroad, because I like all eras of equipment. Anything from the, really my favorite era is 1930 to today, but anything N-scale can run on this layout. Originally, my layout was known as Steamtown, for those of you who may have known me from my original channel, which had the same name. However, that channel no longer exists because it was tied to my school email, so you can no longer see that channel unless you go on the Wayback Machine or something. But anyway, so this might be called Fort Nolan or something like that. Actually, Fort Nolan sounds pretty good, which is the name for my grandfather. So first up, speaking of my grandfather, he bought me this pharmacy building, which is really nice. And even though I live in Texas and we almost never get snow, except for the big freeze back in February, I will probably be keeping the snow on because it'll add a little bit of character, and maybe it could be a little inside joke saying like, okay, why do you still have snow in that building? Well, it just doesn't melt. Anyway, I do want this, I do want a display engine. I don't know where I'm going to put it. And again, none of this is solidified or set in stone. The industries are not sure about the rest of the town. And, you know, I'm still kind of figuring all this out. But, you know, it could be really interesting. And hopefully I start buying more buildings instead of locomotives, because the best way to have a good layout is to have, you know, a good amount of structures and trains, and not just all trains. Unless you're a train nut like me. So now we're gonna end the video with a few more things, and well, let's move on. What time is it? It's Cork Time, baby. I hope that was hope they got a little chuckle out of the audience. Hey, I hear you laughing. Don't lie to me. So anyway, a lot of you are wondering, okay, why'd you buy cork? I thought this was for like wine bottles or something. First of all, no, I'm not old enough to drink. And second of all, this is going to be used to not only raise up the track, but also ballast it. A lot of you are wondering, isn't that a little redundant since Kato unit track is already ballasted? And, you know, yes, it's really nice, but I think it'd be interesting if there was a little more ballast, because as you know, for those of you who've seen rail track, which I'm sure plenty of you have, the ballast seems to bulge out just a little bit more than the way this is. I mean, this is fine if you're running a tabletop layout, but I think this would make it a little more realistic, and it'll finally give me the chance to officially finalize my track plan, which I've said probably 1,000 times since I started construction in 2014. And last but not least, before we end the video, is rolling stock. First up is this Hudson Bay oil and gas tanker. I'm mostly going to use this for oil. I have an industry called Parker's Oil and Plastics. And, you know, they would receive tankers because oil is used in the manufacturing of plastic, as I'm sure many of you probably know. Nice tanker, just wish the weight inside wasn't loose. Could probably pry the shell off, but I don't want to risk breaking it because it's cylindrical. Next up is this N&W 40-foot boxcar that my grandfather picked out, and it's a really nice freight car. The Rapido couplers are fine. I'm probably going to swap them out for Kato knuckle couplers because I really don't feel like doing another KD coupler conversion because those things are not easy to do. I mean, I have the right tools, they're just really tedious. Nice boxcar, and you know, you can use these for any industry pretty much. Last but not least is this New York Central gondola with this removable load. Now, can someone in the comments please tell me what this load would be used for? Would it be used for something like beer, whiskey, water? What would it be used for? You know, again, this is a really nice gondola, and I bought this at a model railroad shop just outside of Scranton. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it right now, but this is a really nice piece, and it wasn't too bad. I got this for I think $15 if I'm not. Yeah, I got this for $15, which is about what you'd pay for a piece of rolling stock. I'm not gonna pay like $200 for NCO rolling stock. Are you out of your mind? But yeah, all three of these pieces will, you know, see time in the layout. Eventually, I will buy some trucks to replace for this, or I'll just swap out the couplers like I said. So that just about covers it. I hope all of you enjoyed layout update number 8, and I hope all of you continue to watch Engines of North America and its future spin-offs. And depending on when you're watching this, I will return the jingle. Have a good day, have a good morning, have a good night, and stay healthy, stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.